What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Tonight, guys, we're here talking about the Arizona Cardinals, as this team has just had a very rocky start of the year. But then again, when you look at it, this team has had a lot of success. And when it comes and pertains to that rocky situation, we're talking about suspensions and injuries. And today, it was just been announced by Chris Mortensen that quarterback Drew Stanton is likely to miss the rest of the season, or is going to miss the rest of the season with, sprained ACL and MCL. So the Arizona Cardinals have said, I've said in this video before, that this team has built on a lot of success with their backs against the wall. With the injuries and the suspensions stacking up on this team, mainly injuries, with the suspension of Darrell Washington on the defensive side of the ball, John Abraham getting injured, being out for the year. This team has just, continued on, and look at them. They're a double-digit win team this year. They're a 10-win team this year. And the Arizona Cardinals are doing this with a lot of success from their secondary, but their offense has always been that kind of rocky part. Larry Fitzgerald is not having, the greatest amount of success this year. He's finding some mild success, not a whole lot, but he's still finding a little success here and there. But when it pertains to their quarterback play, Carson Palmer started off the season hot, very hot, doing very great things for this team going forward, and he gets injured against the St. Louis Rams in a non-contact area a couple of weeks ago. Drew Stanton comes in this past week, got injured by the St. Louis Rams again. Once again, it was during a tackle, so that was inflicted by the Rams, and now he has a partially torn ACL and MCL. So this is currently going down, down the tubes for the Arizona Cardinals, as their season is, could likely end up not getting a playoff win, because the quarterback play is very crucial when it pertains to the playoffs, because offense to me wins championships. You cannot go into a playoff game with a third-string quarterback who barely sees any time, does not see any time, and expect to win. Ryan Lindley has had, starting time with Arizona before. He went to the San Diego Chargers during the offseason, comes back to Arizona after getting signed off the Chargers practice squad a couple of weeks ago, and this is where we sit now. Ryan Lindley came into substitution mode for the injured Drew Stanton in, I think, the third quarter, or at the end of the fourth quarter, or near the fourth quarter, middle of the fourth quarter of this past Thursday's game. Didn't do too good. It was an average. I mean, you're coming in as an emergency third-string quarterback. Now you have quarterback Logan Thomas being your backup. But does Arizona decide to go out and look for another quarterback? There was a lot of rumors about Kurt Warner potentially coming back. How he was predicting about coming out of retirement. His wife won't let him, so you can automatically check that off the book. Kurt Warner coming back to have a legitimate opportunity to lead Arizona back to a Super Bowl would be great. But does Kurt Warner still have it? He's been out of football for a few years now. Does he still have the ability to come back and throw the football and have a lot of success? It's going to be a little bit of a rocky decision. If he does come back, it's not going to happen. But what if? You can always think about a what if, but you all know it's not going to happen. Can Kurt Warner come back and do it? Maybe. You can't really count it out. So, he could have done it. We'll just have to wait and see, because he has great chemistry with Larry Fitzgerald. There's a lot of new faces on that offense, like John Brown, Michael Floyd, who Kurt Warner never played with. So, breaking into new wide receivers could be really interesting to see Kurt Warner do something like that. Other options out there was a rumor that Donovan McNabb, who does have a house out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, he was actually, I think it was rumored upon, can Donovan McNabb come back? There was a lot of rumors once he left the Washington Redskins that the Arizona Cardinals were interested, because he's he has a home out here in Arizona, so that could be a possibility at best for if Donovan McNabb wants to come out of retirement. So the Arizona Cardinals are rumoring to have interest in some of the retirement folks, some of the veterans. They don't want to break in a new rookie. They don't want to take the time right now this late into the season to trust this team's legitimate Super Bowl run in the hands of a much inexperienced and underdeveloped rookie in Logan Thomas and an inexperienced quarterback in Ryan Lindley. So the Arizona Cardinals do have a legitimate decision with Drew Stanton being out. Drew Stanton has always been an excellent backup quarterback. I would consider him an elite backup quarterback in this league. A lot of people used to to compare him up to the elites, the top 5 elite quarterbacks in the league, with guys like Kyle Orton at the time when he was a backup with Tony Romo in Dallas. Drew Stanton in Detroit was pretty good during his time when Stafford was injured at times. Coming over to Arizona, I was always expecting him to really do a whole lot. When he got the call in from the injured Carson Palmer, it wasn't as bad as I would have thought it would be. But you know what, backup quarterback is probably the most important position in all of the NFL, because you don't know exactly when you're going to get able to take the snap. You don't know exactly what will happen to your starter, so you have to be ready at a moment's notice. So Drew Stanton was put into a situation where it was very hard, but he also had to come up against all odds here, and he won the game against St. Louis. So the Arizona Cardinals were able to do so and get that winning streak and continue this excellent road, even with the amount of injuries that's on this roster, and continue to have a lot of success. So Drew Stanton is out for 4 weeks. There's a lot of options out there right now for Arizona. Do you think that they'll continue to go with Ryan Lindley? Do they go with Logan Thomas? There's just so many options right now for Arizona. Will drafting a quarterback really help benefit this team down the line going into the 2015 draft? Yeah, I think that would be, because there's a lot of great quarterbacks going into this year's draft. There's Brett Hundley, there's Shane Carden, Sean Mannion from Oregon State. There's a lot of great development quarterbacks that can be ready at a moment. That can be ready at a moment's notice going down the line if there is a future injury out of quarterbacking. I have a lot of faith in guys like Sean Mannion and Shane Carden that can really make a big impact for this very injury-ridden Arizona Cardinals squad. Pertaining at quarterback, it just seems like every year that there's always a quarterback problem out there in Arizona. So I think that could be an option. So let me hear your guys' opinion about this. I'm Justin Godsey, and I'll